Welcome to my first episode of Letting It Slip with Slick, and I'm your host, Slick. Here is where we discuss any and everything. Today, we're diving into a topic that I know a lot of people can relate to, and that's sharing a bed with someone who isn't exactly pulling their weight, especially when you're the one handling the bills. We'll talk about the emotional, financial, and even the personal challenges that come with it. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's get talking. I wanted to discuss this topic today because of a post that came down my YouTube timeline from the Daily Wrap-Up crew. I'll leave the link to the original post in the description box. Now the title reads, Woman goes viral on Twitter for saying she finds it unbelievable to share a bed with a man while still covering bills. But first, let's check these two comments that was under the post. It reads, Nobody but a black woman said that. The other says, I can bet $10,000 that it was a black woman that posted this comment. Anyone in the comment section wants to bet? Listen, I definitely don't need to take that bet because I too believe it is a black woman and that's coming from a black woman. I say that because I've only heard black women say this. I've said this as well and ended up doing the opposite. I said I will never ever live with someone or sleep with someone who can't help financially. But when that man put that dick on me, I was up making breakfast, asking him how he liked his eggs, having him drive my car and bringing it back on E, mind you, ironing his clothes, scraping the dandruff off his scalp. I was so stigmatized that I believed it was wrong for me to ask him for money. I was buying more groceries but refused to ask him to contribute. Spending more in electricity and water, but thought it was wrong to ask him to contribute anything. I had this belief that if I just do everything he likes, he would do everything that I like. I also thought a man would know to give something financially if he has a hardworking woman who is supporting herself. But not only that, I've even went out the way to be subtle about what I need from him, but he didn't take the hint. So one day I was coming up short on my rent, which at the time was about $800. And I asked him for $200. That's what I was short of. That man fixed his face and his mouth and told me he got better things to do with his money than to put that towards rent. Child, I had to clutch my invisible bootstraps and kick him out of my apartment. It's like, how dare you, sir? And had the nerve to come back the next day begging with apologies. But sad to say, I did not learn my lesson. It took a few damaging relationships to figure out what I was doing wrong. Everyone have to have that conversation about what each other wants out of the relationship and what to expect. I've learned to always voice my opinions and make it clear what I need from my partner. I've learned to pay more close attention to what a man is not saying and his actions, and not let things linger on for so long. Now back to the post. The young lady said, Sleeping with a man while still having to pay any bills is wild to me. Some men have it way too easy, and some women see it as a badge of honor not to ask or expect anything. Remember my quick story I was telling you a minute ago? I was saying the same thing, that it will never be me.
I will never lay down with a man who isn't helping me out.
You could have fooled me by all the things I allowed a man to do to me. Now this next comment got me all in my feelings. It says, the dude they're highly attracted to get to hit with little to no investment, while you are stuck with the bills and an attitude. Sounds like a bad deal. Guys, I have to say I agree with that. For some women, including myself, have fell for it. We went after the handsome man, or the first man that said, you're beautiful, or the first man to stand up for you, even the man who just gave you a smile, and you already picturing yourself walking down the aisle. It is true some men just do things to get in your pants. Some will wine and dine you until you give it up, and then it's a whole attitude change. Let's read another comment. It says, at what point do we arrest her for advocating for sex trafficking? Well, I guess if you arrest her, you have to arrest the ones that will pay for it, right? Listen, there is a man out there who knows that they wouldn't have gotten the woman they have now without him paying for her lifestyle, and he's quite fine with that. As long as she gives him what he wants and he's able to parade her around, then she will be taken care of. There's women who have done the same thing for men. So a woman responded to the original post saying, women want to be treated as an equal, but want to pick and choose when the equality applies. And I have to agree. We want the same position as a man. We want to be paid the same, but don't treat us like a man. We want the man to play his position, or should I say his role, and women will pick what role we want to play at what day and at what time to play it. Well, at least some women. Now, what I will say about the original post is that you should not be living or sleeping with someone who can't financially give you help. If you want to rely on someone to fund your lifestyle, go ahead, if you can find someone to do it. But just remember, that might come with a heavy price. There is a man out there who prefers their wife to focus more on them and the children, if there is any, to put more time and effort into their needs without the complications of a job getting in the way. I also believe that some men do it to keep tabs on their women as a control aspect. I do believe women should be making their own money, or make sure saving whatever allowance that man is giving you. Always prepare for rainy days. Always be ready for the what if. If you want to go 50-50 and build with a man, that is fine too. But you have to make sure that man is able to and want to give 50-50. Don't get yourself all caught up slipping, then you realize that you are the one funding someone else's lifestyle that you didn't sign up for, and that goes both ways. But let's be for real, I do believe there is a lot of women out there, including myself, who would love to be taken care of financially while being a stay-at-home wife and or mother. Some men will call this simping. I call it just loving your wife enough and having your situation together that your wife doesn't have to work if she chooses not to. Again, I believe this is only for those who can afford it. So if your man don't have it like that, then don't expect him to be able to pay for everything. Everyone's gonna have to work and figure out who's going to pay what bill. Let's read some more comments. I'm talking to a woman who makes little more money than me, and none of us care. She understands that she needs to pay bills regardless of men. She also likes having me around for other reasons that don't involve finances. These women are so gone. Nobody should be ashamed or shamed into whatever situation you chooses to agree with. If you want to go 50-50, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to pay 100% of the bills for your partner, there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't work, make sure you are getting spending money, because you never know what can happen in the future. The provider can get sick or lose their job, or just be nasty and stingy with their money. Don't be one of those getting kicked out of your shared home with no money and nowhere to go. Don't be one of those who constantly have to ask or beg your partner for money to do something for yourself. There are some women out there who prefers to work while the husband be a stay-at-home dad because the wife makes more money. I've seen stories where there's no children, but the wife takes care of everything financially while the husband finished school. Everyone is different and no two situations are alike. Women, if you find a man to take care of you like that, truly be in it for love and not the money, and make sure the respect is always there and that you are receiving respect in return. Men, if you find a woman you want to financially take care of and she is giving everything you've asked for, then continue to love and respect her. I'll leave you with this. It's up to the individual to figure out if any of those situations will keep them happy. But what do I know? I'm single, so. So the reality of sharing a bed with someone who isn't contributing to the bill is something we women created. We need to speak more with our tongues in our mouth and not the one between our legs when it comes to our expectations. So if you find someone who wants to take care of you fully, let them know what you want. If you want to go 50-50, sit down and figure out who is going to pay what. If you've been in situations where you need help and a no is always the answer, then you're on your own, sis. He's not the one to give you a helping hand. Don't keep giving and giving without receiving anything. I've learned that the hard way. It's tough, but it's something so many of us deal with. Well, guys, that's all I got. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever been in this situation? Drop a comment below and let's get the conversation going. Thanks for watching. I'm Slick, and I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.